Good afternoon and welcome everyone to the Trading Talk Uncensored live Q&A session. My name is Danny and I will give you the webinar today. So to begin with, let's go through the structure of the webinar, the agenda of how things are going to be done. The first part will be more just going through the questions, understanding the questions that our team has prepared, and then going to answer them one by one. And this section here is the true purpose of this webinar, right? This is a live Q&A. This is a live questions and answers webinar, giving you guys the ability to ask whatever you want in regards to trading, and for me to hopefully demonstrate to you on the screen as an answer. That, other words, that means that you guys can ask whatever you want, regardless the topic that I'm teaching. Okay. Third part is more informative. We have here the links. To be frank, half of that is also accessible from the web trader, but some people don't use that. They're using MT4 and MT5, which is fine. And then again, those links can be very handy. The last part will be analysis. Okay, we will use this slide here to help us understand how analysis works, unless we will cover analysis through the questions, which obviously it's what we want, and then we can also use practical numbers. All right, any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be constructed or applied as an investment advice, recommendation, or a suggestion. Now, it's important to say that the webinar is recorded. So guys, I understand the need sometimes to recap and to take down notes, and it's not always convenient to do it on the spot while I'm talking. Sometimes I'm walking a little faster than the average pace, because I want to give you as much practical knowledge that I can, and not just to tell you stories. So sometimes we have to increase the pace, and you can, if you want to review the webinar later on, you can just go to our YouTube channel, find it there, and see it in your own pace. Usually we are uploading it maybe hopefully today, later today, but at the worst case, a day or two, and it should be there. And so the rest of the webinars, by the way, okay, the rest of the webinars that are doing can be found there as well. There is a huge library of content, useful content there for you to enjoy. The first question is, can we know how much we can gain or lose before opening a position? Okay, so this is super easy for people using the web trader. For those who don't, I'm going to give you an equation so you can know how to do it with MT4 and MT5. This one, how can we find a good entry when the market is consolidating? Okay, that's a very nice question. The third one is copy trading a good solution? A solution that depends for what, but could be. We'll see. What is a dragonfly candle? Okay, that's also a nice question. And a dragonfly, that's maybe okay. We'll find one on the chart. Okay, so let's take the first question. We're quickly going to take it, paste it at our notepad, which will be, oh, there we go. Okay, we'll fold that down. Again, as I said before, this interface is called the web trader. We don't have to download or install anything to access it. We're just logging in with our email and password, and we're supposed to be here. And as the question goes, can we know how much we can gain or lose before opening a position? So the fastest way, the simplest way to do that is simply by clicking here on buy. Again, buy or sell, it doesn't make a difference. It's my intention was to open the sidebar here, right? So sell does the same thing. The only difference is though that I don't know if you can see here, there is a lighter blue and a darker blue. So the darker blue is what not marked. Basically, clicking on buy here is lightening up the blue to be brighter. That means that this one is selected, right? okay? But it doesn't make a difference if you do it from here, because as you saw, I can just change. Now, once I have this open, as I said, to demonstrate how much I can gain or lose in a position, the fastest way to do that is simply by simulating with the take profit and the stop loss. So all I have to do, basically click here on take profit and stop loss. And if I'm with a buy, I can increase here the value. In here, I can decrease the value. And what happens is it's showing me, Danny, this can be the outcome of what you can make or lose, right? Now, if I'm, let's diverse, let's take another asset. Let's suppose, let's go with maybe one of the majors. Okay, something that people are usually, people can be familiar with. Let's go with Euro, maybe pound. Okay, and again, the same exercise. How do I do that? Simply, again, clicking on sell or buy. Let's go this time with a sell. And again, the only thing I have to do is just to enable take profit and stop loss. Then automatically in here on the right column, we have here the potential profit and the potential loss, which will be based on the difference between my entry to the, sorry, let's quickly change the time frame here, something more reasonable. Okay, and with that, we can simply, just a second. Okay, we can simply see here the results. If I increase it, by 100 and decrease that by 100. So then, sorry, just take that and reduce 100 from here. Oh, sorry, we are with the sell. One more thing you would like to make sure before you're setting the take profit and stop loss, because you saw that when I was with a sell and I actually increased here the take profit and decreased the stop loss, it didn't let me do it. The reason is when I'm selling something, my intention is that the asset will decrease, right? So the value between the euro and the pound will decrease. Okay, that's basically the intention here. So when I'm buying, I want the value here to decrease, to increase, right? So that means that I need less euro to have 1 pound. So let's try that, this time with a buy, 0.1. Again, we're going to increase that by 100. This time that we're going to reduce it by 100. Okay, and then we can see here the possible result. Of course, the higher I'll go, the more I can make. And in here, the same idea. The lower I go, the more I can lose. And the closer I get the stop loss, the closer I get it onto the entry, the less I lose. Of course, as long as if I make the take profit lower, then I can make less. Okay, very, very logic, very easy to understand. So I'm going to put here an equation, okay, which is units, or maybe number of units, okay, times price difference, or maybe value difference between entry to the different price. As we see here, this is the current price. Let's maybe do it this way, and then we can understand a bit better. So let's also just mention what they do, even though I guess most of you guys already know, but just to clarify the case here. What take profit does is it closes the position automatically on a certain value, okay, which happened to be that. Let's get rid of the Fibonacci retracement for now. Okay, and the stop loss happens to be here. Okay, let's change it to this, and then it's easier to see. And now, making this comparison, I can understand, okay, if it gets to here, I can make $130. If it gets down, I could potentially lose 150, right? Now, as you can see, guys, last time that it's been this low was a while ago. So, of course, this is quite far-fetched, but I'm just showing here a principle that can be applied on anything else. Okay, let's take another one just for the sake of the example here. Maybe this time we'll go with one of the indices, maybe. And let's take Nasdaq. Okay. And again, the same idea works here because I'm holding only one indice. And again, if I will increase that by 100, which brings us to 2080, right? And then we're going to decrease that. Oh, sorry, are we with it? You see, this is exactly what I was talking about. Because I'm with a sell, this doesn't make any sense to the platform, okay? So because we are with a sell, our intention is that the value will decrease. So we'll do it the other way around. This one will have to increase. That one will have to decrease. And then we can see that over $100 difference, I can make or lose approximately 100. If this would have been 10, it would be 1,000. If this would have been 100, so 10,000, and so on and so on. All right, you can use this equation and of course do the same calculation if you're not using the WebTrader. To be honest, there is no reason to not to use it, and it correlates with the other platforms that we have. In other words, we can do the same calculation here and use it with MT4, MT5, and we can use MT4, MT5 and see the positions reflecting in here. Let's move on. So, do we have any questions regarding what I've explained so far? Any questions at all? Any questions about a calculation that's been done here? No questions. Great. Let's proceed. We are going to take our equation and just add here possible profit or loss. The second question is, how can we find a good entry when the market is consolidating? Okay, let's understand first what consolidating means. Okay, we're not gonna miss that beautiful consolidation we're having here. Okay, maybe let's also, okay, this is not in the range that I can show you guys, but not good enough. Okay, let's look for something else. By clicking here on the button, I can change the layout for several charts, giving me the ability to open different charts and perhaps explore with much more efficiency. So what I'm going to put write down here is gold is an example. Okay, we don't really need gold. We need something that consolidates. At the moment, let's clear that. go with days. Okay. Now, how do we know? How can I? What exactly am I looking for here? Consolidation, right? So the way for me to identify consolidation area is when I have candles at a similar size at the similar range, right? So even though this is at the same level as platinum is at the same level that it's been only a month ago, okay, and again beforehand 2 months ago, still it doesn't mean that this is a consolidation area. Okay, this is what we call support and resistance, peak points on the chart. Okay, that can help us find a very, very useful entry, but this is not what we are looking for. All right, let's see if we can use the demonstration here. Not really. Okay, let's use what we've got at the moment. Let's use what we've got, or maybe even go back to what we had here. Yeah. Now, this might not be the greatest consolidation area ever because it's already past that segment, and I'd rather use something live for you to actually go later and maybe use it. But it seems like it's difficult for us to find something like that at the moment. Maybe if we can search it manually, let's go to the commodities, agriculture. Okay, let's try that. Okay, let's try the energy. Okay, that looks much better. Now, as you can see here, it was important for me to take something that really gives us an answer to the question and not just generic consolidation in minutes. Okay, as you can see, we are here looking at days. So that means that across roughly 3 weeks, I guess. Let's have a look at the weeks again. As you can see, 3 weeks around those levels. Okay, and right now it's almost done correcting itself from the beginning of the segment. Okay, which was here, which is the next resistance. Above that, we have the actual resistance, which is 74.3. But currently, we're looking at 70.6 to get to possibly 71.5, which was the last resistance. Now, how is this any help? And again, I apologize, this is not a solid, defined consolidation area, okay? But how is this any help to find a good entry? I mean, looking at this scenario, what exactly are we're getting here, guys? Anybody has any idea where can be a good place to enter? So we have the level here, right? 70.5. We understand that possibly it can get to 71 and perhaps we'll pass that. Now, if I buy here, okay, and I understand already by, I don't know if you guys can see that little line we're having here. This means that today oil has been higher. Let me show you that. Okay, and it went down, right? It went down. And if we're looking back on the daily candles, we can see that at this exact level, maybe a little higher than that, it was rejected beforehand. And it was rejected here as well, and it got down. So this is an area that oil can be very vulnerable. And I'm not sure if it will proceed going up or it will go down. And unfortunately, the day before and the day beforehand doesn't give me a solid indication that crude oil is heading up, as this is bearish and this is bearish, right? It did try 3 times beforehand, but nothing guarantees me that now it will succeed, right? Especially when we have a resistance here. So buying now might leave me vulnerable unless there is something fundamental, okay, which is non-related to this consolidation area. This is again not a real consolidation, but we're trying to answer the question here, and I don't want to delay about it too much. So unless there is something fundamental that will change the course of oil, I have a reason to believe that this is an achievable level, but I'm not sure if it will happen now or not. So if I'm putting a line right in the middle of where it started, which is roughly, this is the price that oil has been across the most, if I'm taking all this area here as an example, right? We can all see that 68.7 is where oil has reached the most amount of times, right? We can even take it a little higher. This is almost every couple of days, almost every day, right? Now, if this is my center line, if this is the common area for oil to be, at least according to the past few days, I think that between here to the resistance might be a key ingredient for me to find the entry, whether for a buy or for a sell. Okay? If I buy here, I understand that the length between here and here is roughly $1. And if I want to achieve this dollar length, I might as well take it from a lower price, giving the ability to maneuver inside a consolidation area and not taking a risk that it needs to break the resistance in order to pass it to the next level, if it makes sense, which is from here to here. Let me draw a line here quickly. Right, so 71.01 is where it's been today. Let's enable the crosshair. As you can see, the high here is 71.01, and the next level is $0.50 higher. So if I want to achieve the same length, and I'm composing the position, let's suppose with one lot as an example, and I want to take one lot for $1, 1,000 barrels per dollar, I might as well do it in a lower price. Okay, so I might take, instead of taking it here, I might consider taking it at perhaps 70 or maybe even a little lower than that, which is around 69.5. Now again, what I'm showing you now is only to give you guys the ability to approach, and not a specific advice telling you that if you'll buy here or sell here, you will surely make profit. Okay, but this is a very nice way to approach, especially when oil is not defined by any. We have here reversal here by 2 presenting candles, right? We can see that. Okay, and we can understand that this level couldn't go any further down. Okay, and now it's possibly bouncing back, and we would like to take advantage of the momentum, but we don't want to stay vulnerable and get caught in the middle of the trend if it's not all the way through. All right. Yeah, so regarding this question, how to find entry, okay, we can analyze support and resistance. and resistance and find reversals okay, as we saw, first we've put down the lines, we saw the levels, we had some certain levels here that we draw, and then we saw that the next station was here, and buying it here might be less preferable, and perhaps I'd like to take advantage of the statistics we saw that crude oil has occurred in the past few weeks. Okay, in other words, placing perhaps an execute when price hits at 69 and then having the ability to grasp the same difference from less vulnerable place. All right, so we can analyze support and resistance, find potential maybe optimized. Of course, if I don't have a specific length that I'm expecting for, this might be a little more difficult to perform. Of course, if I don't have a certain length, I cannot design also take profit and stop loss and so on and so on. The third question is copy trading a good solution? Well, in copy trading, we don't have to be the person who is copying another person doesn't need to be good in trading, right? That's the first assumption maybe. Because if I'm doing copy trading, all I have to do is basically to find another trader who is good, and I can just copy that person, right? However, even if I'm a good trader, it doesn't mean that my strategy is 100% bulletproof. Let's put it this way. So when I am copying someone, I need my margin to be able to maintain the same level of risk money management. Okay? In other words, I always give this example, but it's, again, everything I say here, I want it to be as practical as I can, so I have to use numbers that we can see, right? Let's suppose that trader A, which is us, has $10,000. Trader B, let's put it, copy, right? Or maybe just a second. I will explain how it works in a minute. I'm just writing it down just for us not to forget. Let's put down copying for trader A, and then we have being copied. Let's extend that to 50. And now, why did I put that down? Why did I write that down? If trader B has a certain level of risk money management, okay, trading with 50. And one thing to remember is in trading, we can also lose, right? So we have to be able to maintain. Now, AvaSocial, what's so unique about our app is that it gives you the ability to compare the lot size that your position will take. So even if trader B has taken a position, let's suppose a position with Nasdaq, right? Which requires just a second, let's have a look at that. Let's suppose we're going to go for 0.1. Okay, and as you can see, this position, guys, again, I want you guys to ignore the fact that this is a huge margin usage. Well, I don't want to say that. I take it back. Okay, everybody on his own strategy. But let's suppose that the person you're trading with, you're copying, is taking this position. And we are with 10,000, right? We all understand that. That means that my whole margin will be occupied with this position. I'm going to be on 100% using my margin, right? We understand that. So if I'm not using AvaSocial, I'm using another method. There are other different methods to do a copy trading, and I'm going by exact copying a person. I should think of this factor here, right? He might take a position that might accidentally wipe out my account. Okay, again, it doesn't mean that if I'm taking this position, this is what I can gain or lose. This is the margin that I'm using. This is the money translated, my balance translated through the leverage. This is the actual value of how much this position cost. But because, well, thanks to the leverage, we don't only need that, right? The margin impact, the margin requirement. Now, to copy somebody needs to do it with comparison. Other than that, we need to do research, right? We also need to know that the person is performing well. Because if I'm copying somebody who is losing, I'm in a problem, right? Let's put it this way. So copy trading, if it's a good solution or not, might be a good solution. If the only thing is to click on a button and it will work impeccably without any adjustments, never. I don't think so. Okay, I don't think so. Trading might be the most dynamic thing in the world. This is not just numbers. The market is alive. It's moving. It's driven by data, okay, from the world. This is why we have technical analysis and fundamental analysis, and there are lots of changes. So the same way, you also want to have a little bit of research. Of course, what I'm recommending you guys to do is not mandatory at all. You can download the app, click on a button, game's on, as you say. But to my personal reference, before I'm doing such a thing, I would like to explain a little bit about the app here. So what this app allows you to do, right? Our app. So we have follow and we have copy. What is the difference? Following means information. Okay? Information of the position, the person you are following. Okay, copying from the other end, automatically opening a position according to the person you are copying. So the difference here, this one is great for research. You can follow something here doesn't make sense. Following here, missing an O, right? So the first one is something that you do for research. You understand, okay, this is a good trader to copy. Great. You done the research. You again make comparison with the margin. You see risk money management is fine. And the cherry on top is to get to copy somebody with a strategy that you can also perform later on. Again, it's not mandatory in any way, but think about it this way. If you're following a trader, okay, and you decided, okay, this is a good trader, you decided to copy, right? Now you're copying and you see the flow also when you're copying, it's not just launching the position with no information. It's also presented in the platform. You can also analyze what was done, okay? And if you can get used to it and do it even later on without depending on that person, I mean, what could be better than that? Okay, that's the process. That's the process. That's the process I think copy trading can work through. Of course, it doesn't have to be this way, as I've explained, but this is what I would recommend to do a little bit of research. And okay, let's take that, including what we have here at the top, getting rid of that. Let's take that and paste it in our presentation. Okay. What is a dragonfly candle? Who can tell me what is a dragonfly candle? Anybody has any idea? Dragonfly candle, what does it mean? Right, so let's find ourselves, this could have been a beautiful dragonfly candle. Okay, those are more what we are looking for. All of these. Now, whoever saw this insect dragonfly knows that a dragonfly looks pretty much like that. If I could imagine this being the body, that being the head, and that's being the sort of wings, maybe. Let's see if I can demonstrate. It will be difficult to do that. We can try. All right, so maybe I can get our team to do it in a more accessible way to demonstrate you guys. But the point here that the candle here, in difference from a hammer, is that, as you can see here, the body, like I said, is very thin, and the head as well. And the movement on that particular day was much more than the red area we see, right? I hope we all understand that. The actual movement of a candle is not the colored area. Okay. This is not the candle. Green area here is not the candle. The green area here is the candle, right? But the whole candle is right here. In other words, this candle may be green, right? We think that this is a bullish, it is a bullish candle, but the actual movement was here. Okay, maybe it got him back to a higher level at the end of the day, but I promise you that on this particular day, Nasdaq has reached a very, very low level. And if I'm being precise, it was 17,352 or maybe 53. Okay, let's enable the crosshair again. All right, the low is 17,350. Okay, which, as we can see in the dragonfly candle, we can expect a reversal. Okay, again, this is not a typical. This is not a. I want to show you something that is a little more defined, or a dodgy. There we go. Okay, it's not exactly what we're looking for. But yeah, it's not exactly what we're looking for, but there is a structure forming in here, and you can see what I was talking about. As you can see, the movement here was quite a bit, but the results was very similar, very close to each other. Let me see if I can show you another one. Okay, to be defined as part of a structure, we're usually expecting it to be in the middle of the V shape. Again, this is not good enough for me to show you. I wanted to show you something more defined. Just give me a moment, guys. If I can find it, I will just try and maybe do something on the presentation, but I would really prefer to use live data, not, there we go. No, we don't have it. No, that's a hammer. It's not a dragonfly. As you can see, if this, oh, there we go. You see? It's a nice example. It's not a bad example. Okay. As you can see here, again, the movement was quite a bit. The results was very close to each other, especially when it began bullish, then it ended bearish, bullish again, and we can see the result reflecting in this magnificent, I wish I had it before to show you the consolidation here. This is exactly what I was looking for just a few moments before. Okay, as you can see here, very well defined with this tiny exception. Okay, yeah. And then of course, once it started breaking, broke the resistance. Now it's 28. All right. So you should remember, guys, even if you see that candle, even if this structure is completed, it doesn't mean necessarily it's going to bounce at the same level or at the same speed or at the same momentum, but sometimes it can be even more than that. Okay. It can be even more than that. How can we twist it? So you can see what happened here. Okay. All right. So guys, I think that this is a very good question. It's very helpful to identify those kind of things, reversal and support and resistance, to find good entry, and not just to take the trend as granted. Dragonfly candle typically can be found at the end of support or resistance and be followed by reversal depending on the continuation of the pattern. Of course, if the conditions doesn't meet, and after the dragonfly candle we have a vice versa candle or even an engulfing candle, so it changes things out. It doesn't necessarily means we're going to have a reversal, but in the scenario that I showed, it's definitely possible, and as you saw, it actually what happened. All right. So this part here is a part where I can share with you the links here to save you the time. I'm going to paste it on the chat. Let's have that. Paste it on the chat. Also that. Let's take that. Paste it on the chat. Now, the bottom two links, this one also, if you're still playing with the demo and you want to start practicing with a real account, this is how you can make it. Now, the Academy, guys, I'm going to also send you the links for that, but you should know that you can access it just by clicking here. If I go here to the left panel here, you see there is an icon of a video or YouTube, whatever you want to call it. And if I hit here, Academy, it's going to throw me to the Academy. And if I'm going to click on tutorials, it's going to show me a whole nice library of content, all kind of content regarding the basics, regarding analysis, regarding Forex. There's really a lot of content here which you guys can enjoy, just really for you guys to use. Yeah, other than that, I think we concluded everything that we should have had in the webinar. And I would like to give you guys a little bit of a promotion code here. I'm going to paste that on the chat. This is what you can give to your senior account manager, and he can provide you with one-on-one premium market review. And you can get much more in depth what I demonstrated here with much more clarity on a personal level with a senior account manager. So just share with him the Q&A benefit code and you should receive the promotion. Yeah, other than that, I hope that everybody enjoyed and you could learn something from what I've said here. I apologize as I said in the beginning if I went too fast on a few things, but as you can see, we only have a few minutes before we have to say goodbye. And if I would go slower than that, perhaps we wouldn't even get to this point. Okay, but there is a recording later on YouTube, and you can enjoy that and rewatch. All right, guys. So I wish you all a fruitful week. Best of luck with trading. Come join us to the next webinar, and have a good day.